So now in section 7.6, we begin factoring trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. It looks really similar to what we did in lesson 7.5, but the difference is now we're going to have a numerical value in front of our x squared term, which is going to make things a little more interesting for us whenever we factor. In the previous section, because there was a value of 1 in front of our x squared term, every time we factored a trinomial into two binomials, the first term was going to be x and x. We didn't have to think what times what gets us that first value, but now we're going to have to start thinking about this, which is going to make it a little more interesting. But the first examples that we see in this lesson are unique ones because we'll see a numerical factor in front of our x squared term that is a common factor between all three terms. So we're going to end up factoring it out. So let's take a look at that first example that we have here on our notes, which is 5x squared plus 15x plus 10. So this one, we're told to factor it. And notice, like I said, we have a value in front of our x squared term that's not 1. So what we have to do in this case is see that all three terms have a factor of 5. So what we're going to do is factor out that common factor of 5 out of all three terms. When we factor that 5 out, what remains is x squared plus 3x plus 2. Because 5 times x squared is 5x squared, 5 times 3x is 15x, 5 times 2 is our 10. Now, this trinomial that we have left over has that 1 in front of it like we were used to in section 7.5. So we can just look at the factors of 2 to see what factors of 2 add to be 3. 1 and 2 are the factors of 2 and they add to be 3. So when we factor this, we bring that 5 along for the ride. We can't forget that that's a factor of that trinomial. And then we have our two binomials. So we're going to have an x and an x, and we need a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2, and they have to add to be positive 3. So both of those 1 and 2's have to be positive, so plus 1 plus 2. So that's how you factor that first example.